Greetings, YouTube. I apologize if I'm a little bleary-eyed at the moment. I just got back from the eye doctors and my eyes are dilated like you wouldn't believe. Earlier this week, I did a review of the 3.5 OGL book, The Noble Wild, which dealt with allowing people, players to run animal characters, actual four-footed, furry friends of the forest, as opposed to some form of anthropomorphic or shape-shifting animal. And one of the things that it brought to mind is how the game 3.5 OGL Pathfinder, the whole group of them, handles size and attack damage, whether it's an artificial weapon or a natural weapon. Now, the game is centered around the idea that medium is the default size, which makes sense. Humans are playing the game, and humans are usually considered the default race, which is a trope I've been trying to do away with my 12 races idea that I've been presenting here on YouTube. But if you have a medium-sized human with a medium-sized battle axe, it does 1d8 damage. A large battle axe, say wielded by an ogre, will do 2d6, and a small battle axe, say wielded by a kobold, will do 1d6. Now, nobody really tends to think about that a whole lot. And for the small, medium, large range of sizes, it doesn't matter a great deal. But when you start comparing sizes to the same size, things start to get a little strange. For example, a human attacking a human with a battle axe will do 1d8. An ogre attacking an ogre with a battle axe will do 2d6. Why? An ogre is the same scale as an ogre. Their battle axes are scaled the same. They should do 1d8. The same for a kobold. A kobold attacking another kobold with a battle axe would do 1d6, but they're scaled the same, just as the humans are. So why aren't they doing 1d8? Like I said, that kind of fine distinction probably is beyond the granularity that we normally accept for the OGL school of games, D&D, Pathfinder, things like that. But when you start getting into larger differences in size, it becomes even more apparent. For example, that ogre attacking that kobold, I don't think that ogre attacking the kobold should be doing 2d6. That should bump up to the next level, because as far as that kobold's concerned, that ogre with that battle axe is one step away from a siege weapon. That is a huge piece of metal coming at them. And if he were attacking a tiny creature, it should be instant death. And again, we don't tend to think about that a whole lot because it very rarely pops up in a game. But in the Noble Wild, you could have a party that had a diminutive mouse, literally a character this big, in the same group with a huge elephant. Now those differences matter. Now the mouse has some strange bite attack. It does like 1 - 4 or -5 damage. So essentially it does no damage at all. Now if a mouse is trying to bite a human, that's actually possible. So I might want to change it so they can actually do, say, 0 to 1 points of damage to a human. But to an elephant? No. But can a mouse do sneak attack damage on an elephant? A rogue mouse should be able to, shouldn't they? That's kind of one of their core class features, their ability to do sneak attack damage. And yet, how do you think about that logically? And if two mice attack each other, their damage is next to meaningless. Yet two mice attacking each other is pretty much the same thing as two wolves attacking each other. And a wolf has a bite of 1d8, I believe. So why doesn't a mouse's bite do 1d8 against another mouse? That would make sense to me. And what about an elephant stomping on a mouse? That's significant. That, again, should be an instant kill. And for animals, that probably would be. But we're not dealing with animals all the time. If you're dealing with a noble animal, you're dealing with a player character. And there's no reason that that player character mouse at 20th level couldn't have anywhere between 100 to 200 hit points. Even an elephant can't kill him in one blow. So things get strange when you start using player characters that are of vastly different sizes. Now, for the most part, I am not going to rewrite all the bloody weapon stats in the game. There, you'd have to have a number for every single size category. Every weapon would have to have a listing from diminutive up through colossal or gargantuan. And that's just unwieldy and cumbersome, and I'm not doing it. But if you were going to have characters in a group, say mice and rats, you really should rescale their attack so that a mouse attacking a rat or a rat attacking a mouse is going to have a realistic ability to harm them. Because on that scale, they are just as as dangerous as a human being bitten by a wolf or a bear. It's dangerous at that scale for us because a bear and a wolf are on our scale or slightly larger. And for a rat and a mouse, it's equally dangerous because that's the scale they live on. Yes, I know that this is probably thinking far too deep into this. And as I said, the granularity of these games are not that fine. But it is something I was thinking about, and it just became very glaringly obvious when I was contemplating the differences between a diminutive mouse and an elephant. And I'm still thrilled to death at the concept of playing some kind of a spellcasting mouse, or even a warlock. That would be so awesome. Say, have the warlock's Eldritch Blast be I-beams just for flavor. Just think about that. A high-level mouse warlock doing 8 or 9 d6 from an animal this big out to 100 feet or so. That would just be awesome. But I'd be interested in hearing what you have to say about sizes and weapon damages. Have you ever pondered it? Has it ever popped up in your game? Have you ever considered it to be absurd? Or is it something you just kind of hand wave and don't worry about? I'd be interested in hearing. Yes, I know I thought about this far too much, but like I say lots of the time, this is how I keep myself occupied at work.